Welcome back to another episode of the Nancy Levin Show. I am so glad you're here with me today. And since you're tuning in, it's likely that something inside you is stirring, perhaps nudging you to consider that it might be time for a change. We all go through these moments where we question our path, our purpose, and even the people we surround ourselves with. And that's what we're diving into today. How to know when it's time for a change. Contemplating change can elicit a mix of emotions: excitement, fear, anticipation, even dread. And in my years of coaching and guiding people through transformation, and from my own personal experience, I have come to understand that change is the gateway for growth, to a deeper connection with ourselves and to the life we truly desire. So today we're going to explore the signs and signals and inner whispers that indicate it's time to embrace a new chapter in your life. Whether it is a career shift, a relationship transition, or an internal transformation, recognizing when change is necessary is the first step toward living in alignment with your truth. So let's dive in here. We are going to start with the internal signals. I believe that our inner world speaks to us in ways that are both subtle and profound. Have you ever had that gnawing feeling in your gut that something isn't quite right? You can sense it. Maybe you've been ignoring it, brushing it off as a phase, but deep down, you know there is more to it. Here's the deal. Our bodies are incredibly wise. They know when we are off course long before our minds do. I often say our heart has already made the jump. Our head simply needs to catch up with our heart. When we're out of alignment like this, you're going to notice physical symptoms like fatigue, restlessness, or even a lingering sense of unease that you just can't shake. These are your body's ways of saying, hey, pay attention. Something is off. Something needs to shift. And then there is that inner voice, often quiet, but persistent. It's the voice that whispers to you when you are alone or in the moments before you fall asleep. It's the voice that keeps asking, is this really what you want? Is this really who you are? It is important to listen to these whispers because they often carry the truth that we are too afraid to acknowledge. Our intuition is a powerful guide, and when it starts signaling that something needs to change, it is wise to pay attention. So, how do we differentiate between the natural discomfort that comes with growth and the discomfort that signals it's time for a significant change? Here's a simple exercise. I invite you to close your eyes, as long as you're not driving, and just take a few deep breaths. And bring to mind the situation or area in your life where you are feeling the most tension. And ask yourself, is this discomfort guiding me toward growth? Or is it draining my energy and dimming my light? Trust the first answer that comes to you. Growth discomfort feels expansive, like it's stretching you towards something greater, even if it's uncomfortable. But when it's time for a change, the discomfort feels like it is pulling you down, making you smaller, dimming your light. Now let's look at external signals. Life has a way of reflecting back to us what is going on inside. So if you're noticing a series of obstacles, roadblocks, or even repetitive patterns that seem to be holding you back, this could be a sign that it's time for a change. Perhaps you're in a job where you feel unfulfilled and underappreciated or stuck. You've been there for years, and while it served you at one time, it now feels like you are just going through the motions. Or maybe a relationship has lost its spark and communication has broken down and you're no longer growing together. Sometimes we resist change because we are afraid of the unknown. We cling to the familiar, even when it's no longer serving us, because it feels safer than stepping into the uncertainty of something new. But here is the thing. When we stay in situations that no longer serve us, we're actually blocking the flow of abundance and opportunities that are waiting for us. I like to think of life as a river. When we're in flow, everything is moving smoothly. But when we resist change, it is like trying to swim upstream. It's exhausting, and eventually we get stuck. The universe is always nudging us back into the flow. But we have to be willing to let go of whatever it is that's holding us back. So look at the areas of your life where you are facing resistance. Are you trying to force something that isn't working anymore? Are you holding on to a version of yourself that you've outgrown? These are clues that it might be time to let go and embrace a new direction. And in order to do that, we have to address the elephant in the room: fear. Fear of change is one of the biggest obstacles we face. It is natural to fear the unknown, to worry about what might happen if we take the leap. But here is the truth. Fear and excitement are two sides of the same coin. When you feel fear, it is often a sign that you're on the edge of something new and exciting. It's a signal that you're about to step out of your comfort zone and into a space of growth. And the key is to not let fear freeze you. Courage is not the absence of fear. It is feeling the fear and moving forward anyway. It's about trusting that whatever lives on the other side of fear is exactly what you need for your own next level of growth. One of the ways to move through fear is to shift your focus from what you might lose to what you stand to gain. So ask yourself, what is the cost of staying where I am? What will I miss out on if I don't make this change? Because sometimes the biggest risk is not taking the risk at all. And when you realize that staying in your current situation is costing you your happiness, your growth, your potential, it becomes so much easier to take the leap. Now that we have explored the internal and external signs and we've acknowledged the role of fear, how do you actually make the decision to change? First, give yourself permission to want more. You deserve a life that lights you up, that feels aligned with your true self. And sometimes that means outgrowing your current circumstances. Next, get clear on your values and your vision for your life. What matters most to you? What do you want to experience, create, and contribute in this lifetime? When you're clear on your values and your vision, you make choices and take actions that are in alignment with them. It's also vital to surround yourself with support. Change can be challenging. It is okay to ask for help. You do not need to do this alone. One of the reasons I see current and aspiring coaches enrolling in Love and Life Coach Academy is specifically for community and support as they are becoming exactly who they want to be. Everything comes down to commitment and accountability. And it is always my honor to hold my students accountable to the commitment they're making to themselves. And it's my honor to witness them as they embrace change. And the last piece here is to trust timing. It's likely that that whispering voice has been talking to you for years. The time is now to listen. The time is now to make the change you've been putting off. And trust that when you make this decision to embrace change, the universe will conspire to support you. Opportunities will arise, doors will open, and the path becomes clear. So as we wrap up today's episode, I want to remind you that change is a journey. It is not a destination. It's a process of shedding the old to make space for the new. And while it can be uncomfortable at times, it's also one of the most empowering things you can do for yourself. So if you're feeling that nudge, that whisper, or that persistent discomfort, do not ignore it. Lean into it, explore it, and trust that it's guiding you toward a more authentic and fulfilling life. It's important to remember that you have the power to create the life you desire. It starts with a choice, and that choice begins with you. So thank you again for joining me today. And if this episode resonates with you, I'd love to know. You can share your experiences, questions, insights with me on Instagram. I'm at Nancy_Levin. And if you know someone who might benefit from this episode, please share it with them. Until next time, remember to honor yourself, trust your intuition, and embrace the changes that come your way. You are capable of more than you know, and the best is yet to come.